welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is Tommy the Kid Tresimer.
I'll make you famous.
I love that scene at Mr. Chisholm's ranch with James Coburn.
Took a lot of farms, Mr. Chisholm.
I'm like, what? Alan Ruck? But I love that scene because, I mean, it's beautifully shot. I mean, they went to some legit locations to get this footage, but I like that scene where Emilio, or Billy the Kid, says, you know, who's the best out of the two hired guns that work for James Coburn. And that's a pretty tense scene, but I like how Emilio says that, because a lot of people want to get famous by shooting Billy the Kid. But yeah. I dug that scene, and I liked man, Mr. Chisholm.
Well, isn't there a line, too, that Chisholm says about taking something arrogant of his and shoving it up his butt and lighting it on fire?
Oh, yeah, all right, so what he says is, he's like, shove them up your arrogant little ass and light them on fire.
Yes.
And then also, he calls them dirty little Billy bastards.
I am a dirty little Billy bastard for sure.
And then you have Emilio talking about it ain't worth a bucket of piss. There's some really interesting dialogue in here written by John Fusco in this sequence. I mean, there's a lot to unpack.
And isn't that line that John Chisholm says, isn't that also a tribute? I think that's also a line that he said back in one of his previous movies, or was it a movie in Young Guns 1 that he said something similar to that? The character Chisholm did. I
don't remember I don't remember that line, because I covered this with Chris Kelly, and I don't know. I remember. I don't remember hearing about that line.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we covered Young Guns 2 about a year and a half ago. But I gotta tell you, so Young Guns 1, you had the regulators, you can't be a geek off the street. It was a much smaller story about avenging, Terrence Stamp, and just kind of, Irish
John Constable.
Irish versus English, these kind of battles, everyone kind of getting used to these things. This one has a more sprawling vibe, I would say. Definitely a bigger budget. But no, I mean, it's just as fun. I would say they went out there and had a good time.
It is. It's a lot of fun. And I think a lot of that builds up from how they built this sequel. How they came about doing it. And that's the storyline of Brushy Bill Roberts, which I think is really fascinating.
You know what I love, too? They wanted to hire an actor, Tom. Sorry to jump in. They wanted to hire an older actor, and Emilio's like, I can do this. So he went and put makeup on, went to an audition, and they thought it was just an old guy auditioning for the role.
And then I heard, the night before they started filming, he wanted to make sure that his eyes were, bloodshot and weary. So they stayed up and drank all night. And so then he could get his voice raspy and all that. I mean, he went all out for this.
How happy were you to see Bradley Whitford in the beginning of this movie coming up and talking to Emilio, Bushy Bill, but just talking
Mr.
to
Roberts? So admittedly, this is one of my most watched movies of all time.
Oh, wow.
I watched this a lot when I grew up. I mean, I had two different versions of the VHS, and then as soon as the DVD came out, I got that too. And I believe I even recorded another VHS off of Encore or something like that. For all these years, I'm guessing I have seen this movie probably at least 25 times. I never put it together that was Bradley Whitford until I rewatched this a few days ago, because I'm also 7 seasons into The West Wing. So we got 15 episodes of The West Wing, and so I've been that's all I've literally seen was 140 episodes of Bradley Whitford staring me in the face. And I watched this, and I was like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. How did I not pick him out before?
Well, he's got the hat on. Bradley Whitford rarely ever wears hats in films. You can't.
Man.
No, he's not a hatter. Get Out.
I'm ashamed.
No hat. Cabin in the Woods. No hat. He's Billy Madison. No hat. And this one, he's got a big old hat.
My wife was like, hey, that's Josh Lineman. I'm like, wait. Oh my God.
Were you?
Oh my God. No.
Were you depressed they didn't do more walking and talking?
A little. I mean, he does a lot with that little role.
So why you binge watch The West Wing or watching it again, when you watch other shows, are you depressed that there's not as much walking and talking?
Yes. Yeah.
You should watch Downton Abbey. There's a lot of walking and talking.
Is there a lot of walking and talking in that?
Yeah, that
That's
might
all
that might
West
get you.
Wing is.
Yeah, just
Those people never sit down.
Well, imagine as an AD, that's kind of a pain, right? You know, you got the walk and talks. That's a lot of
Oh,
extras.
I would think so.
And
I would think so.
I have a question. In the West Wing, do you feel like the offices are always way too bustling?
Yes. My wife and I, countless times now, have stared at the background in that show, especially when you have like some cross that's following them, and then will suddenly take like a hard right turn somewhere else, like right into a wall, and they just stand there. I mean, you get it. At least once an episode, you're finding something in there that shouldn't be there.
I guess when you have that many walking and talking scenes, there's going to be some problems.
Oh, yeah.
So, which one have you watched more, Young Guns or Young Guns 2?
Young Guns 2, by far and away.
And how come?
I think it's the bigger cast. So, I mean, it's almost like the Brat Pack of, you know, it's almost like the whole entire Brat Pack was getting crammed into a movie. So, I mean, this was like the young all-star cast out there.
Arkansas Dave.
I mean, yeah, Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, LDP, Christian Slater, my boy. You know, William Peterson he wasn't huge then, but I mean, he was still a seasoned actor at that point. You got Alan Ruck, who's coming off of Ferris Bueller's. You know, we already mentioned Bradley Whitford, James Coburn. I mean, huge at that time. And then
Viggo.
Wham, like one of his first roles is Viggo Mortensen.
And then you also had, did you say Scott Wilson yet? And then Jenny Wright. I mean, big cast in this.
Yeah.
You know, Charlie Sheen wanted to come back?
He did. Yeah. I read that.
And they kind of said, well, can't we revive him? Isn't there something mystical? We could do something in some mysticism, bring back Dick Brewer. And like, no.
No, Buckshot Roberts made sure he wasn't coming back.
And so instead, Charlie Sheen just took them all to Mexico for a weekend that could never happen now, I bet. Debauchery.
Probably not.
Yeah. But I mean,
and
everyone wanted back for this. But it seems like this was a good shooting time. So the director looks back on it really fondly. The writer, John Fusco, he wrote Hidalgo, he wrote Spirit, he wrote Highwaymen, a bunch of Netflix shows. He has a horse ranch, so he kept horses from this. He said Viggo Mortensen kept horses. He said Viggo Mortensen was so committed that he's like, well, we're in this territory, and I'm from here, so I should have this kind of gun and this kind of boot. And I've been walking through red rock, so I'd have red rocks on my shoes. He's like, man, this guy's crazy.
I mean, these guys went all out onto it, and I think that's part of the reason I love this so much is especially Westerns from that time period and before. So as you start to dive like into the 80s and 70s and 60s, at least from my personal feeling, it's like when you get to like the costumes and the makeup and stuff like that, I've just never thought a vast majority of those movies looked authentic to what the Old West would look like. It's like you have I'm not including like Sergio Leone. Like I think his movies completely turned the Western genre on their head and made them, more believable. But it's like you go back to like the older Westerns. I'm not knocking on Gary Cooper or High Noon or all that stuff, but like their costumes are very clean. Like everything is just so shiny and clean. And I mean, that is not how the Old West was. I mean, those people stunk.
Yeah,
they smelled bad. And like you can see that in this movie.
They hung out with pigs. They hung out in literal pigsties to hide.
Yeah. But I mean, like the costumes and I mean, just everything just seems so authentic in this movie, from the weaponry to them sawing off the sights of their guns. And I mean, I think he actually had the dialogue of sawing off the sight in Young Guns 1, but in number 2, you clearly see like that sight is still filed down and gone. Mm-hmm. So it's like, there's still tribute, it's still a tribute back to the first movie, but they're going bigger and better and beyond.
You know what I like? The director was talking about it, and he said we were shooting in 2 different states, going to great length to get to correct locations. We had location managers in each state, and naturally we had to follow them to scores of sites for months, trying to find the perfect blend of authentic, unique, and accessible, and permissible. Although we didn't tie ourselves down exclusively to these areas, we were fortunate enough to come up with locations that were made for movies. They shot in Tucson Studios in Arizona, where a lot of movies have been made. And then also, they had like epic veteran stunt coordinator Mickey Gilbert and head wrangler Jack Lilly, the guys with the horses and everything. And so they brushed them up on their equestrian skills. The actors, like, they knew how to shoot. They knew how to have knives. Like you watch, LDP busted his arm in this. He broke his arm and he tore his kneecap, and that's why you have that knife fight where he gets stabbed in the arm, so he has to hold it up. And
that's a good scene.
But that knife work by LDP Chavez, I mean, that was legit. Now, Tom, you become a knife fighter. Are you a Arkansas Dave or are you a Chavez?
Totally a Chavez, because he can also throw those knives.
But
Dave just kind of pulls that buck knife out of his boot, and it's a secondary weapon to his gun.
But I like that Dave is he throws dirt in Chavez's face. I mean, he stabs Chavez right through the arm. Like he's a dirty, so Chavez is an honorable knife fighter, and dirty Arkansas Dave is a dirty knife fighter.
Well, that's how he got the nickname Dirty Dave.
All right, I have a question. So we've gone over that already, but do you think they made a too much of a meal out of saying Dave's name? There's multiple instances in this movie where like, shut up, Dave. All right, Dave. They have a lot of name gags. It ain't your gang, Dave. And then there's that scene at the end, or running towards the end, when he's talking to, Bill, when he kills him. Oh, don't do it, Bill. And he's like, and then he kills a guy named Bob. Hello, Bob. Bye, Bob. Like, there's a lot of name work in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, there is a lot of name work. I guess it's never really bothered me that much. Like, it definitely does in other films. Hey, Mark. Well, Mark, I'm telling you, Mark, It's over here, Mark. Like, I don't know. I've never felt that, at least for this movie, the blatant use of names ever went over the top for me. Because I also feel like it's not just like one or two characters that are being, that their names are being announced. It's like everybody.
Chisholm.
Mr. Chisholm.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe that was also the, kind of how people spoke back then as well. I don't know. I don't know if they addressed people like that. I mean, even Garrett says to John W. Poe of the Cattlemen's Association, if you ever address him common again, he's going to put him on his pretty little ass.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it goes full circle here.
And then the thing about Bob, that was a play on a line that might have actually been said back in the day. Like, quit sleeping on the job, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Don't do it, Bill.
Best $1.80 I ever spent, after he shoots him with a shotgun full of dimes.
Oh, I love that dime scene. And he's like, that was stupid, Bill. It's a good punchline. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I like the line readings. It's just there's a lot of names as punchlines in this film, and I dig it. I think
with Arkansas Dave as well, it's Dave is always wanting to become the leader of the gang.
Let's go, guys.
Like, he wants to be Billy. And maybe by Billy constantly saying his name, it's always reminding him that he's never going to be as big as Billy the Kid, despite possibly killing more men and being even more evil than what Billy was.
Yeah, because Dave said he killed 65 people. Right?
Correct.
And then he gets down to Mexico and he gets beheaded.
Mm-hmm. Yes. He killed a few more people down there than he got into one too many fights.
They're like, do you know who I am? And those two guys look at him and the guy raises his machete as a nice homage to the upcoming decapitation.
Yeah, I probably would have left at that point.
Yeah, you see people raising machetes, and you probably want to run, I guess. No, but
get out of there.
Do you think this is a good way of? You read reviews by Ebert and other critics, and do you think this is a good modernization of the Western? Because if you think about it, right, the Young Guns and this was released in '90. We had a little uptick in Westerns. There was Maverick. There was Tombstone, which we covered on the podcast. Mm-hmm. There was a Lightning Jack. There's a decent amount of Westerns that came out after the success of this. Now, also Unforgiven was 91. Dances with Wolves was 90. Yeah. 92. Dances with Wolves was 90. So I don't say they owe it all to Young Guns because there were other films at the time, but this helped give us a nice early 90s push into Westerns.
So I'm glad you brought this up, because I actually was diving into this as well. And I feel like by the time the mid to late 70s started rolling around, the big box office Westerns were starting to fall apart. Mm-hmm. So it's like Outlaw Josie Wales came out in 76. And Clint Eastwood was the penultimate cowboy for the better part of, almost 15 years, 15, 20 years. And then you get on and you look at all the Westerns that are released, but a lot of them are like TV movies or small movies, foreign releases, and they just didn't do a whole lot at the box office. And then you almost had a 9-year gap up to 85 when Silverado and Pale Rider came out. And so Clint Eastwood returned then for Pale Rider. And then you had, if you want to call it a Western, Three Amigos in 86. So they're from almost 1976 up until the release of Young Guns in 88, there really wasn't a whole lot.
Mm-mm.
And then you had all in just 1990, you already mentioned a couple of them, but you had like Back to the Future 3, which was released before Young Guns 2, but then Young Guns 2, Dances with Wolves, and Quigley Down Under. And then it just escalates from there. You got City Slickers the next year, Far and Away, Unforgiven, Tombstone, Frank and Jesse, Maverick, Wyatt Earp, Quick and the Dead, all within the next 4 years of each other. So it's I do think it helped bring back in, as you said, the modernization of the Western, but it's also doing it with, hip, cool cast. You're not getting the old, crotchety John Waynes anymore.
And you know what I read, which was interesting? There's an article online about how the Young Guns 2 DVD or VHS sold really well and rented really well, because normally Westerns, women didn't want to, so this is in the article. They're saying that women don't normally like Westerns because there's not much of a story there. But in this one, you have a bunch of young hunks. So it had more of a rental between men. More men and women were watching Young Guns. I mean, this is a sequel that made, with inflation, it made $88 million domestically. So it made $44 million then, but if you bump that up, I mean, that's a big chunk of money right there for a sequel number that wasn't really critically beloved. But a movie's not going to make $88 million if it doesn't have good word of mouth or appeal to a certain audience.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this certainly probably helped Westerns for another few years.
It's got to have a quality, and Young Guns 2 has all the qualities. All of them.
I'm telling you, Dean Semler, I like Fusco's dialogue, but I think Dean Semler is the MVP of this movie by far, and he's the cinematographer.
Oh, yeah.
So we've talked about it before, but he won an Oscar for Dances with Wolves, but he's also before this, he did Mad Max 2. Listen, you survive Mad Max 2, and you're going to shoot any movie known to man easily. He also did Firestorm, but
he did Beyond Thunderdome.
Beyond Thunderdome, and he's become Adam Sandler's guy recently, so Adam Sandler uses him, and he went on to do, 2012, Secretariat, he did Waterworld. How much of a nightmare would that be? Last Action Hero, he did City Slickers, Cocktail, Young Guns. But look at this, Dances with Wolves, City Slickers, and Young Guns, all in the short time frame, and they all look good. And, I mean, City Slickers won an Academy Award for Jack Palance, and these two, and Dances with Wolves beat Goodfellas. And then you have Young Guns, which made bank. So this guy, I think he's one of the most unheralded DPs out there.
Oh, yeah. And this movie is an absolute pleasure to look at. Every single shot in this movie is like what you would think of like an old painting representing what the Old West should be. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything has some giant sprawling landscape in it. Everything is just, it's so dialed in visually.
And that's because they would trek out to spots. So they said that they would find the Indian burial ground scene. Mm-hmm. They had to carry all their gear out there to shoot that because it looked beautiful. So they weren't pinching, they didn't have to pinch pennies because of the success of this, but they I don't know, they found the big rocks. They found the locations. They didn't have to cheat. And I'm telling you, the James Coburn scene, the cinematography in that is the best of any of these Young Gun movies by far. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just what I think, but just the sprawling look of it, I loved.
Oh yeah. It's beautiful. I mean, you're getting these tight, almost panoramic close-ups of characters, and the only thing behind them is just New Mexico territory. There's nothing else out there, just land. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just shows how isolated and far removed these guys were from civilization, really.
And it really made it look great. And I have another question for you, Tom. So in the beginning, when Emilio's walking up to talk to Bradley Whitford, he just has a guitar lick playing when he's walking. How much would you love it if any place you enter, a guitar lick just breaks out? Like kind of, the God mic where everyone hears it. everyone just hears a guitar lick, or a tiger roaring when you walk into a room. How much would you love that, or would you not want that?
As long as it was Alan Silvestri's score from Young Guns 2 to my intro music to any building, I would be happy with.
Oh man, he's huge too.
This score.
Oh, it's beautiful. And then you have the Bon Jovi soundtrack that went to it went to number one. That Blaze of Glory went to number one on Billboard's Hot 100. The album went to number 3. It won a Golden Globe and was nominated for an Academy Award. This is
it's huge.
So I know a lot of people. Oh, sorry, Tom. I know a lot of people don't really think about these movies too much, but Young Guns 1 and 2 were pretty big business back in the day. Yeah.
I mean, so when John Fusco, if I'm getting the story right, Fusco was writing number 1. He was also wanting, to bring in like the young hip, almost like turn these guys into rock and roll stars, which hadn't really been done before. And so he was listening to Bon Jovi's Wanted, Dead or Alive as he was writing these movies. And then they wanted to use Wanted, Dead or Alive in the movie, but Bon Jovi didn't think that it accurately represented, what they're trying to portray. Like, they liked the sound and the vibe of it, but lyrically, it didn't belong. So then they were all sitting around a table one night, Kiefer and Emilio, Slater, Bon Jovi, all these guys, and Bon Jovi just started writing the lyrics to this song on a napkin.
Wow.
And so Kiefer's got this line where he's saying, like, they're all talking about, just burgers and bullshit, and here Bon Jovi is sitting next to him writing the number 1 song in the world on a napkin.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah, Bon Jovi he's like, on a steel horse I ride, and he's like, that's my bus. I travel around, and so I don't want to, that's not what this movie is, so I want to write, and it's smart too, because it was a solo album, and it was just a big song for him as well. I mean, he was, dude, in 90 and the late 80s, Bon Jovi was fire. I mean, his songs were just massive.
He was huge.
Yeah, huge. And I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, he's a Golden Globe winner, Academy Award nominated guy. But it just shows, I don't know, Fusco as a writer, and he's done some cool stuff as well. And I think Geoff Murphy does a good job as well, letting the character sort of unfold. But Fusco's a smart guy. He gets it. Like,
yeah.
He made some very smart choices, because in this movie you have, they hate this term, you have Emilio, and you have Lou Diamond Phillips, Kiefer, but then you have Coburn, Robert Knepper, Viggo Mortensen, Scott Wilson, you have some big names in here. And I gotta tell you, I'm going off topic, but I love Robert Knepper's cameo in here as Deputy Carlisle.
Oh, so yeah.
There's a scene in this film where Billy and his crew, they're all beat up, they're all shaken up. And two lynch mobs come that get foiled twice. There's 2 dumb lynch mobs in this movie, which I love the scenes. But this Robert Knepper comes in. We got a lynch mob out here. He's like, but you know what we'll do? If you just give me Chavez, we'll make it happen.
At the Bordello.
At the Bordello, and with June Greathouse, which is a amazing last name. So then they dress up Knepper as Chavez, push him out, and he gets shot, and then the mob realizes what they've done, and they just ride away. It's a cheeky scene, but I've never seen Robert Knepper play such a goober. You never see Robert Knepper playing a goober.
So what I love of that scene, after he gets shot, the camera's down on the ground looking up, and you have all these heads converge into frame, and they're all wearing, those awful lynch mob masks, and you don't know who says it, but you just hear somebody go, uh-oh. I love that. Yeah. It's so cheeky. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. And then the other lynch mob that comes to kill Chavez and Doc.
Yeah.
They get foiled by Billy the Kid, because Billy fakes his own lynch mob, and then he tells the lynch mob to go the wrong direction, and then they just ride away and get out. This movie isn't saying too many good things about lynch mobs, is it?
No, it's not.
Uh-oh.
But I mean, back to Fusco, it'd be really hard to make a sequel after you've pretty much killed everybody off, which they did in the first movie. I mean, the only ones that that truly survive the first movie is Doc and Chavez.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everyone else is killed out in the shootout at Tunstall's house. So it's like, how do you go about making a sequel with Billy the Kid after you've just killed him off.
Yeah, I mean, it was
and
smart.
So it's the whole brushy Bill Roberts. I mean, it's awesome. It's a very, very genuinely brilliant story arc to bring into it. I mean, brushy Bill Roberts made national headlines back in like 1948. You know, literally coming out of nowhere to ask for a pardon. You know, the pardon that was promised him by Governor Lew Wallace in 1879. And suddenly this guy shows up asking for a pardon. Long and behold, he doesn't get it and he dies. And this is kind of forgotten about for the next 40 years until Young Guns 2 brings it back up.
It's pretty neat.
And so, I mean, I think it's really interesting because it's, you know, the first movie is very, you know, as you said, it's a lot smaller, but it's also very straightforward in its story and what it's doing. But by bringing in Brushy Bill, you've got this 90-year-old narrator, and especially if you kind of know the story of Brushy Bill, you think that there's some validity there, but you just don't know. So he's an unreliable narrator, and that just kind of allows them to do whatever they want with the character and allows them to kind of fill in these gaps in life up until the point that he's allegedly killed by Pat Garrett.
And I think
it's brilliant.
I know they brought in some other characters. They have Tom, played by Balthazar Getty. He's like a 14-year-old in this movie, but I guess he was 22 in real life. And then
he should have been in Young Guns 1.
And then you had Henry. But the thing is, do you think they make any impact as characters in this movie?
Impact-wise, probably not. But I think it's a good tribute to Billy the Kid and the Regulator's legend.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Tom Folliard, Billy, and Charlie those were like the three amigos. Like, those were the tight group out of everybody. And then, I mean, Charlie died in the first movie, when in reality, I think he lived near to the very end of the Lincoln County War. So he didn't die when the movie said he died. But then you've got, as you mentioned, Henry William French, who's a composite of, I believe, two guys, one named Henry Newton Brown and the other named Jim French. So he's kind of a composite character of two other regulators that were riding with Billy. So I think it's kind of a tribute of adding more, you know, people in that should have been there to begin with.
I like seeing Alan Ruck in a non-Ferris Bueller or Spin City or Twister or Speed role, where he's of a bland. He's Buckshot. They were going to give him a nickname, and he's like, "No thanks, I don't want it."
But my name's Henry William French.
I like watching him shoot people because he never gets to do that in movies. Alan Ruck is basically Alan Ruck in movies, so I like that. I got to see another aspect to him. And then there are some other problems with this movie, too. I mean, Kiefer Sutherland's character was killed off. I know he lived in the real world. He lived a lot longer. But Kiefer, in 90, I looked this up. So in 1990, Kiefer Sutherland had Flashback, Chicago Joe and the Showgirl, Young Guns 2, Flatliners, and then he did the voice for the Nutcracker Prince. So his schedule was so nuts, he couldn't stay around on this movie, and he just wanted to get killed off. So they killed him off. And then LDP, Lou Diamond Phillips, Jack broke his arm and tore up his knee on a horse accident. And they had to work around that. So there's a lot of things they had to work around, but it still makes sense as a movie. It's still fun. And it's under 2 hours, which makes me happy.
Yeah, I think, man, if Doc Scurlock's death doesn't just punch you in the gut, I don't know what does.
Well, it comes out of nowhere.
And I mean, he is, all things said and done, in the movie, he's probably Billy's best friend. Yeah. I mean, Chavez is close too, but you always see Doc and Billy kind of butting heads, but they always go back to each other.
He said that in this too, right? He said, Doc wants to go back, but just give it a little bit. He'll follow me.
And so, like, Billy's whole thing is he always wants to go down in a blaze of glory, as the song says. Like, he wants to go out in a big shootout, but he's pretty much the only guy that doesn't. All of his other friends pretty much die horrifically, multiple gunshot wounds. I mean, you got Steve from 1, you know, Tunstall, Charlie, all those guys in the first movie just die horribly. And in this movie, I mean, Doc is, you know, he pretty much ends it the way that Billy would have wanted to end it, by let's finish the game. And he goes out and he just gets annihilated.
Yeah, by Vigo. Vigo, if you know what, I wouldn't be too bummed out. Who shot Mark? Vigo? Oh, makes sense. Or John Poe. I mean,
John Poe, Cattlemen's Association.
Yeah, I mean,
and man, Vigo steals every scene he's in, I think he steals in this movie.
When you see him, you know that he has it. Remember when James Gandolfini popped up in a lot of movies in the 90s in small roles? Mm-hmm. Like, this guy's got it. Paul Giamatti in his tiny roles in the 90s. This guy's got it. You felt that about Viggo as well.
And his lines and his deliveries are so good in this. He's not milking the scene, but he is stealing everything he is in.
He knows what he's doing, but he's also a good actor.
I love the scene where the writer has to take another dump, and he's just hollering out, "I have to take a movement.
Yep.
I have to take a movement." And Poe turns to Pat Garrett and he goes, "He has to take a what?" And Garrett just responds, "He has to take a shit." And then it all rounds back to later when they've got, I don't know if they're Apaches or Comanches that, come up on them, and the writer diffuses the situation. And then it just cuts to Poe and he goes, "Sheriff, I gotta have a movement." I just love it. I love it.
That brought some humanity to him, which I liked. And what did you think about the inclusion of William Peterson as Garrett? Did you like Garrett in this? I believed in Peterson. I thought his Garrett was a very capable character. I like the scene between him and June where he's talking to her. He's like, "Remember when you, me, and Billy were completely naked shooting everything in this place?" And then she shoots him down, and then he's like, "Wow, I don't see prostitutes anymore." Then he lights her place on fire. So he's petty, but he also doesn't really want to kill Billy. He's taking his time, but I think that's a neat characteristic in a character.
No, I think he's the perfect foil to Emilio's Billy. I mean, Emilio is unhinged in this movie. Like, you can see his slow descent into insanity as he's starting to buy into his own mythological status.
Mm-hmm.
And so he is completely unhinged and out there, whereas you've got then Garrett, everything he does is so deliberate. And so it's like he knows what he's doing, and he knows how Billy thinks and what Billy wants to do and where he wants to go. So he's just very methodical with everything he says and everything he does. I mean, by the time they even hire him, he instantly goes out and hires a writer to follow him and to track the adventure. Like, he has everything. He sees it. He just sees everything in advance.
I do like.
And he's got the gravitas. Like, I just think William Peterson is that type of actor. He's got it.
And he's older than all the other guys, and you felt that too. You kind of felt the age on him, and I liked it. But he was also down for some shenanigans when in the beginning they kill those people, and then they bury him by just kicking sand on top of him. That's a cruel moment. That's unhinged.
That's bad. "Do I know you? I'm Travers." Nope.
That is a wild scene. And also, I think my favorite part in this movie is how naive Billy is, thinking he's going to get a pardon by Scott Wilson, Governor Lewis Wallace, for turning in the guys that he fought with in the first one, the Irish. And I kind of like how he seals the deal with a piece of cake, but he doesn't want that cake. He wants the vanilla frosting cake.
Pendleton, the one with the icing.
And he loved it too. Billy, do you think Billy stay alive? Billy he seems a very in the moment man. Oh, he doesn't care much about life. When he kills that guard, he could have bonked that guy unconscious. He just doesn't really care.
Talking about Bob outside, Bob Ollinger?
Yeah, so what happens is Emilio in this film, he gets an offer by Scott Wilson, who's a governor, that if he goes state's witness, he'll get free, he'll get pardoned. So he willingly imprisons himself. It turns out it's not going to work like that because of the governor. He's Irish, all this, yada, yada. He thinks he's going to die, and June Greathouse leaves a gun for him in the outhouse. So he goes to the outhouse with Bob. He gets the gun. He hides from him, some cheeky little scenes, but then he kills him. But he could have bonked him on the head. He just didn't think about it. And I don't think that shows how he doesn't really care about life either.
I think with that scene, I think that's Bell that's going up the stairs behind him.
Oh yeah, Bill, not Bob. I'm sorry. I messed up my Bill and Bob.
He's got the gun on him, and he drops his famous line, "I'll make you famous," and then he's telling him, don't do it. Like, I don't think he really wants to kill that guy, but he's also, he turns everything into a joke, and by doing so, he backs himself into a corner. So not defending his murderous ways at any, for any reason, but I feel like he's backed himself into a corner that he's got no choice to kill him. But then when he goes upstairs, he grabs the shotgun, and then he drops that line to Bob Ollinger, who's running back across the street. "Hello, Bob. Goodbye, Bob." And I think that one is just pure villainy right there. Like, Bob's also been a total a-hole to him for the entire movie up to that point.
I do think he does a good job, Emilio. You know that he's crazy. So I like that you're not hero worshiping this guy because you clearly see that he's unhinged.
Yeah, and I think it brings it back to like all the Billy the Kid movies before this were very romanticized. Like Billy was a Robin Hood, a hero. In this, he's not. And you can tell he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. He gets pulled into the regulators in the first movie and in real life. I don't think he's probably a kid that ever went out to do bad things. It's just, unfortunately with how life was back then, it's just kind of the path that put him on. And I think that's the approach that this movie takes with him as well. That he's not an anti-hero, but he has enough charisma that you're interested in his story and what else he's going to do, despite being incredibly bad.
No, I think you nailed it. Hey, how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk more Young Guns 2. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And Tom, I have a surprise for us.
Okay. Oh, boy.
We're going to do a Lou Diamond Phillips draft. And after we draft this, the day after this podcast is released, you can go to Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook to vote on this poll. So head over there to vote on the polls. We have a lot of fun tournaments. We have a good time with this. You'll love it. So, Tom, 1 or 2. Pick 1 or 2.
Is this movies only?
Yes, movies only. So, one or 2.
I'm going to have to go 1 then.
All right, so it was 2. So I'm gonna go. You got to go with his most iconic role, La Bamba. That's what.
All right.
That's what put him on the map. That was big. So I'm doing that, La Bamba.
I'm gonna go to the movie we're covering right now, Young Guns 2.
Ooh, Young Guns 2. All right, so we have La Bamba and we have Young Guns 2. Let's see, what am I gonna do next? I am going to pick. Oh, man. You know what? Stand and Deliver. Why not? All right, you're up next.
Is Young Guns an option, or is that too close to Young Guns 2?
Yes, it is.
Dude, I'm going Young Guns.
All right, I'm going to do The Big Hit.
Man, I'm in the process of rewatching that right now.
Bad?
I've been in the process of it for 3 weeks. That's a tough movie.
Is it bad?
It's not good.
Oh, great.
It's crazy.
All right, so you're up.
I'm going to go. I remember when this movie came out. I don't think I saw it in theaters, but I remember it very well. I'm going to go Bats.
Oh, that was my pick. That had some money behind it.
It was kind of a funny movie.
All right. Yeah, I need to watch that again. All right, so I'm up. Let's see. Nobody knows this movie. Nobody knows it. Right? But I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to pick. Oh no, do I want to do it? No, I won't do that yet because no one will even know this movie, so I'm not going to do it. I'll say I want to pick something that Courage Under Fire.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a very good one.
Thank you.
That's big. That was a big movie.
You're gonna win. You have Young Guns 1 and 2.
I don't know why you didn't pick one of those.
All right, you get your 4th pick here.
Is it just 4?
No, we're doing 5 movies. But...
Okay, we're doing 5.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to go. I've never seen it, but it's on my list, and I've heard of it, and I'm going to go Extreme Justice.
Extreme Justice?
Yeah, it's a Scott Glenn LDP action cop movie.
Nice. Extreme Justice. There's a movie called Metal Tornado. I won't pick that one.
That sounds awesome.
Let's see. I got to do it. Death Toll. Striking Range. Let me see here. He's done a bunch of X-Men voices. Hollywood Homicide. Oh, man, this is tough. All right, let's see. What am I going to do? He's in Supernova. Broke Down Palace. Big Hit. Courage Under Fire. Undertow. Sioux City. Dangerous Touch. I'm just reading his movies out now. The Dark Wind. That sounds bad. Demon Wind. Wait, what?
I don't even see those. Oh, there they are. 1990.
That's pretty interesting. I am going to say... I'm going to go with...
What is this? Shadow of the Wolf.
You know what? I'll do the 33. There we go. I'll do the 33. That was a big role for him, so I'll do that. That was a real big role for him. He was with Antonio Banderas, Rodrigo Santoro, Jacob Vargas. He's a good actor, too. Oscar Nunez. Yeah, I'm going to do it. The 33. So you get one pick left.
I'm going 1989's classic LDP Kiefer Sutherland action crime film Renegades.
Renegades. All right. So you have Young Guns 2, Young Guns, Bats, Extreme Justice, and Renegades. I have La Bamba, Stand and Deliver, The Big Hit, Courage Under Fire, The 33. See,
you definitely are gonna get votes from La Bamba, and then I feel like Courage Under Fire. He didn't have a huge role in that, but that was a really big movie. And then what was your other one?
I have Stand and Deliver. That he had a big role in, Big Hit. That's like
Big Hit. Big Hit's also got a little bit of a following with it being one of Marky Mark's early movies.
I have not watched it, The Big Hit, since it came out in theaters, but I remember thinking it was. I know there's a cult audience for it. That's why I picked it.
It's pretty absurd.
I remember
Maybe
just people.
I'll finish that today. Maybe I'll finish it today.
I just remember people jumping around and shooting weird guns. And speaking of weird shooting, I like the scene in this where Billy the Kid has to knock out those candles.
Oh, yeah!
And he knocks out a bunch, and you're like, well, you have 3 left. Or, well, you have 3 left and 2 bullets. And then he knocks the candle sideways and then shoots out the thing. So what he is, he's with a bunch of people, and he's shooting out 5 candles. Like, there's a candelabra, and there's 5 of them in that. Candelabra? That's the right word, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're all in a row. But he only shoots a certain amount of them, so then he knocks the candle holder so that it's just in a straight line, and then he shoots 1 bullet and knocks out the other lights. It's insane. It's insane, but it's a cool gag. I like that gag.
It's good shooting is what it is.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a marksman.
It's interesting in this movie. There's a lot of you have the one guy making movements, and then you have Chavez and Doc getting poop thrown on him. There's a lot of scatological gags in this movie.
Oh yeah, when they were in the pit.
Yeah, and the outhouse, the farting noises. Yes. There's a lot of scat jokes in this.
Man, so good.
They keep building up too. Good.
So I've got a hard take I want to throw at you here.
Oh no.
That people may shut this off after they hear it, and this is probably the only time you're ever going to hear these 2 movies mentioned in the same sentence. But we were kind of talking about earlier of how this rejuvenated the interest in Westerns. And then specifically, it kind of brought back Billy the Kid into the limelight again after, 50 years of obscurity, not really doing a whole lot. So I just want to say that this is the JFK of the Western genre, like Oliver Stone's JFK of Westerns.
Because the way it just doesn't care about history and it makes up its own?
Yeah, you could go with that. But also because it brought back interest that had long lost, kind of faded away.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Like JFK's conspiracy theory, by the mid-'70s, that was only like 13 years after his death, but it kind of started to fade away. Like, people just sort of lost interest in it, and then Oliver Stone released that movie, and it got huge again. And it's still been big for the last 30 years. People are still ranting and raving about it. Obviously, Billy the Kid is not on that level, but for a brief time period there, throughout the 90s, huge archaeological and scientific studies started going underway, trying to find out if Brushy Bill Roberts was, in fact, Billy the Kid. Like, huge court proceedings to try to get remains exhumed and so they get DNA samples and all this stuff. And it's still stuff that is being released and making news today.
Yeah.
Man, that was all Young Guns, too.
He brought him into play. It made $88 million, and it had a soundtrack that was everywhere. So Billy the Kid was in the consciousness of the populace. And the VHS sold a lot. So yeah, do you think people were probably interested in it? And it made good articles. Kids knew about it.
Oh yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know the Brushy Bill Roberts story, you should get online and look it up. Get online and check it out. It's really fascinating because not only does it tie in with Billy the Kid, it also ties into Jesse Evans, who was the rival leader of the other gang during the Lincoln County War. So he wasn't in Young Guns 1, but he was the primary villain to the Regulators. And so he ties into Brushy Bill as possibly someone living through as well, and then also Jesse James, too. So it's really crazy, these I don't even know if you can call alt history, different theories or, possibilities. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, I want to look into it right now. All right, guys, we'll see you later. No, hang. And also, how much do you think the Warren G song with the regulators?
Regulators!
And then they counter, you can't be a geek off the street. They sampled that for it. So, I mean, this was big business, man. And I think it helped bring up some cool history and maybe help some people learn a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I have a question for you. Would you eat at Pat Garrett's eating house?
I don't know. I mean, I'd be afraid he might shoot me in the back in the dark.
Yeah. What kind of eating house?
Depends on what he's serving.
Yeah.
If he's serving like a good Midwest fried tenderloin, I'll go anywhere for that.
He's doing a lot of stew.
I'm not a big stew guy. Probably not. I'd probably go to the other bar. What's the one that they always go to?
Yeah. I just like that. I'm gonna open an eatery. That does not last long, does it?
No. Anyone who says that, it's probably not going to last long.
Yeah, you're right. And he actually lives, though, which I like. Anybody trying to get out of the game is normally shot, and he lives so I read about the rest of his life. Did you know? So he married a woman, she died. Then he married her 17-year-old sister. And then they had 8 kids between 11 years. And then he tried to get involved in the irrigation business, and he had about 18 failed irrigation businesses. But then he became friends with the future vice president, and he went around and he had more failed businesses, and then he started shacking up with a prostitute in El Paso, and he lost his affiliations, and then he got shot.
Yeah, he got shot in the back by like a 20-year-old.
Yeah, so he had a pretty interesting life after this thing.
So there's also these crazy theories out there that Pat Garrett's killer went by the name of John Miller, which was somebody that ran with the regulators back during the Lincoln County War. So there's this crazy theory that it was a revenge killing for Billy the Kid.
Yeah, but that couldn't happen because he was killed at the age of 58. So if a 21-year-old killed him...
Yeah, I mean, now you're just pulling everything apart.
Facts?
Yeah, dude, I don't care about facts.
You know what I hate? So the other day, I had this pithy thing about a movie. I'm like, why would it be like that? And somebody went, well, because you could look at it like this, and then it could turn into this and be like that. And it took the wind out of my sails completely. And my pithy thought about a movie was no more. And I was kind of annoyed.
You just ruined that for me.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark. Turd.
But what else haven't we gotten into in this? I mean, we have the scene where they run their horses down the hills, and Pat Garrett says even their horses are crazy. I felt really bad for the horses in this. They took some tumbles down that hill I wasn't a fan of.
I'm interested in knowing how they did that, actually.
They just rolled horses down hills, it looks like.
I mean, I feel like movies have definitely changed now since that. Since you get, PETA gets involved, animal rights activists, you've got the wranglers. I don't know. I wonder if, like, some of those horses are obviously real horses that are standing back up, but I'm wondering if some of them are dummies when they're taking the initial tumble. Because if you watch how that is cut together, I don't know. It's edited very smoothly, that whole thing. And by smoothly, I mean very well.
I mean, they clearly...
I'm wondering if they really did just bottom out a horse going down a hill.
I saw a couple horses falling. I mean, I didn't see any animals being harmed, and I looked up stuff. I mean, LDP took the biggest injury. So I guess nothing really happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and then, so the whole joke of that scene, though, is that Chavez was trying to tell his horse to stop. Correct?
And he jumps off a cliff.
So everyone followed him when he didn't even want to go. Is that the gag?
That is the gag, yeah. He's yelling, Otzi, or something like that. And then you even have Dave Rudabaugh at the end asking, what does that even mean? And he says, stop. Yeah. The horses are crazy.
Such a cheeky scene. And then you have
the horses are trying to run away from him.
Then you have the whole bit about Mexico. There's no Mexico. And then he never wanted to go because he said he'd just be another gringo down there. He likes having the dime store novels, Billy the Kid.
He likes the game.
Yeah.
He likes playing the game.
And that gets all of his friends killed because he's that guy that will start problems and then all of his friends get beat up and he's fine. And then he goes has beers with the people that beat up his friends. He's that kind of guy. So all those people just got wiped out, I guess, because of him.
Mm-hmm.
Which...
And then by the end of it, you kind of get the sense that he's realized what he's done. Like, there's nobody left. So he's just getting hammered at that little village, at Fort Sumner, with his, I guess it's his girlfriend or a gal that he's close with. And then Garrett, he goes to the meat locker to get meat, and Garrett shoots him. But it's like that whole conversation with Garrett, like, he knows this is it. This is over.
And it's easier to shoot people in the back than look them in the eye and do it.
Yeah. Gives him the easy way out, but also if Garrett doesn't do it, then he knows that he can get away. But then he obviously in the movie lives and steals his horse.
So the movie is saying that Billy the Kid is alive.
That is correct.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, all right. That's interesting.
So that whole backstory, again, people really need to go read about Brushy Bill Roberts, because it is truly fascinating. So there was a really, really fast, I'll dive into it. There was a guy living in, I believe, Florida, that was claiming lands to Jesse Evans' brother, who was with the Murphy-Dolan fraction. And then a probate attorney went to interview him about that. And then this guy's name was Joe Hines. And so he started retelling stories of the Lincoln County War, like intimate details that really, unless you've got the greatest imagination, only people that were there would know this stuff. And then he drops the bombshell that Billy the Kid and Jesse James are still alive. And so this guy, this probate attorney, is like, well, hold on, maybe I should investigate this. And so then he starts asking around, and all of it leads back to Ollie P. Roberts, who is Brushy Bill Roberts.
Wow.
And it's crazy because then he starts talking to this guy, and the guy's got like all the scars. He's got all the stories. Things are matching up with it. It's really crazy. But I think it's interesting because it's this dude, this old 80, 90-year-old guy living in Florida is telling an attorney about another old outlaw living in Texas when this other outlaw isn't even, this old dude from Texas that's Brushy isn't even looking for notoriety. He's not asking for that pardon until somebody discovers who he is.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's some nutty stuff that's going on with this. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not a big conspiracy theory dude, but I love the possibility that he lived.
You're into this. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool stuff.
Good old. Okay. Did you like Emilio's makeup in this movie? Because he looked a little pepperoni-ish, like a pepperoni pizza. Do you think it was good makeup?
I'm not sure what you mean by that. I love pepperoni pizza.
No, it just looked very packed. It didn't look. The makeup. Did you like the makeup?
Did he look too like childish?
No,
or too young?
What I'm saying is, his face looked like pepperoni pizza.
Did you have the hue on your TV incorrect?
No, I mean he obviously didn't look like a pizza. It just looked like he didn't look like Pizza the Hut. The makeup looked goopy and it looked patchy.
I don't know. I'll have to watch again and take a gander at his makeup.
See, the problem with me is that I always know what I mean in my head, but when I explain it to people, I don't quite. They don't know.
That guy's got pepperoni head.
Yeah, so in my head it makes sense, and then everyone's walking away later on going, "Did Mark just say that Emilio Estevez looked like a pepperoni pizza? What is the deal with that?"
He looks like a mozzarella stick.
I mean, yeah, I can see it. It's good. It's a good poll, Tom.
You're welcome. I don't even know what it means, but I'll give it to you.
I mean, I could see him looking like a mozzarella stick. That sounds about right.
Dude, everyone likes mozzarella sticks too. If you don't, then you shouldn't be eating pizza and watching this movie.
Maybe that's what I was doing. I was just hungry.
Back in 1990.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, so final thoughts about this movie?
Go watch it right now. It's fantastic standalone, even better sequel. One of the best westerns ever made. Period.
Whoa.
Hard stamp. Seal it. Pack it. Ship it off.
Wow. I wouldn't put it in the top 20, but I like it a lot.
I could maybe put 3 westerns above it.
I mean,
it is that good.
You have, The Searchers. Then you have the Man with No Name trilogy, Pale Rider, Tombstone, Open Range.
Unforgiven. Yeah, those are all good. They don't have what this has. They don't got what Young Guns 2 got.
Regulators.
I mean, this has got the big cast. You know, I mean, those were like the rock stars of their times. C. Slates, he's going to seal the deal.
Arkansas Dave. I mean, the movie is not a geek off the street. I enjoy it.
I think for me, if I got to break it down, and I could probably revise this, but at least for me, I would have Tombstone, probably.
Unforgiven?
Yeah, maybe. I need to rewatch it. I remember that just being kind of bored during times with that movie. Definitely Tombstone. Oh my gosh. Once Upon a Time in the West.
Magnificent
I love
Seven.
That movie.
Oh yeah, that's a gorgeous movie.
I love that movie.
Magnificent Seven?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I love Silverado, but I think Silverado is very similar to this.
Are the later Mad Max movies westerns?
I think they're more like future westerns. I'm thinking more like just traditional westerns.
I mean, Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Django
Haven't
Unchained.
seen that one yet.
Ooh, Hostile's really good. Hell or High
Hostiles
Water.
is good.
Bone
High Water. That's a modern western.
Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not trying to shake you down.
Young Guns 2.
Listen,
good, but it's good.
I mean, I love this movie. Top 3. I like it, man. That's a bold statement. I also like Slow West. I like the True Grits.
Slow West is good.
You love Cowboys and Aliens.
That. Yeah, Cowboys and Aliens was fun. It's not Young Guns 2. I don't even think I'd put Cowboys and Aliens. That probably wouldn't even be top 30.
I'd put Quick and the Dead ahead of this.
You're loco, man. You are loco.
We should do a Western draft where we pick. You know what we could do is we could just we'll each turn in a list of our favorite, not best, Westerns, and then we could do a breakdown of our favorites.
That'd be good.
All right, that sounds like fun. I'm down for that.
It might be a list of just Young Guns too, but I'll go with it.
I'm going to put Young Guns and Young Guns 1 in the same one together. And Battleship is not a Western, Tom, by the way.
It should be.
Right.
Takes place in the Western Hemisphere.
Oh, brother. All right, so this was a lot of fun, man. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Tom Buckshot Tresimer, for Tom Turd Tresimer, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.